Sumy shocked by seizure of new top-secret NATO. Armored vehicles, how much of NATO's weakness has been exposed? Tensions are rising along the Sumy border region. In recent months, this area has become one of the main fronts in the conflict between Russian and Ukrainian forces. Sumy, which directly borders Russia's Kursk region, has long been a target of air and artillery strikes. Villages along the border, such as Novenke, Basivka, Veselivka, and Zhuravka, have even been captured by Russian troops. Amid this growing tension, the Russian Ministry of Defense reported via its Telegram account the success of the 22nd Motor Rifle Regiment of the Sever Group in evacuating Western military equipment used by the Ukrainian armed forces, which had been destroyed in battle. Western military equipment, such as the M1 Abrams tank, was initially regarded as a game-changing weapon that could shift the course of the war. However, in practice, a variety of factors have prevented these combat vehicles from making the significant impact that was hoped for. One of the main reasons is the battlefield terrain in Ukraine, which is vastly different from the environments where Abrams tanks are typically deployed, such as in the Middle East. The Abrams is extremely heavy, making it difficult to maneuver across Ukraine's muddy terrain and trench-filled landscapes. This has led to instances where tanks became stuck or were even abandoned by their crews. In addition to weight issues, the Abrams tanks sent to Ukraine are not the most advanced variants. Most are older M1A1 versions previously used in Iraq. The gas turbine engine that powers the Abrams has also proven problematic in less than ideal environments, prompting some units to be refitted with diesel engines before being shipped to Europe. Engine reliability and high logistical demands have posed serious challenges for Ukrainian forces, who must operate and maintain these vehicles under intense battlefield pressure. Other armored vehicles, such as the MaxPro and Striker, have faced similar problems. The MaxPro, for example, was designed as a mine-resistant vehicle for urban or semi-urban operations, not for open-front warfare against heavy artillery and reconnaissance drones. While the Striker is lighter and more agile, it remains vulnerable to modern anti-tank weapons that are widely deployed on the Ukrainian battlefield. Another factor affecting the effectiveness of Western equipment is the evolving tactics used in combat. Both Russia and Ukraine have developed new strategies, including the use of kamikaze drones and long-range guided munitions capable of targeting armored vehicles from a safe distance. In several cases, Abrams tanks and other armored vehicles have become prime targets for drones or artillery strikes. Despite their thick armor, they have often failed to withstand well-coordinated attacks. The Russian Ministry of Defense even showcased the seized Western equipment in an exhibition held in Moscow. More than 30 pieces of heavy Western-made military hardware, including Abrams, Leopard, Bradley, and others, were displayed as evidence that military aid from Western countries has yet to significantly alter the course of the conflict. Meanwhile, in Sumy and other border regions, fighting continues. Both sides claim victories and are striving to hold their respective positions. The story unfolding on the Sumy border highlights that in modern warfare, technological superiority and advanced weaponry do not necessarily determine the outcome. Terrain, tactics, logistical readiness, and the adaptability of troops on the ground often prove to be far more decisive factors. The Western military equipment that was expected to be a game-changer is now facing the harsh realities of Ukraine's Eastern Front, where every technical advantage is tested by the constantly shifting dynamics of battle. So, does this mean NATO's claims were exaggerated? Here's the answer. The combat model that has long been NATO's cornerstone is now being called into question, as the dynamics of the Russia-Ukraine war grow increasingly intense and innovative. Former Ukrainian Commander-in-Chief Valery Zaluzhny publicly warned Western allies that NATO's conventional approach to warfare is no longer relevant to the realities of modern battlefields. He stressed the urgent need for sweeping changes, not just in defense industry updates or weapon stockpiles, but in military doctrine, organizational structure, training, and defense budgets. Military experts interviewed by Business Insider also noted that Russia's performance in Ukraine demonstrates that NATO's long-standing advantage in air dominance could be challenged in future conflicts. Russia has developed tactics and technologies that counter traditional Western superiority, particularly in air defense and electronic warfare, even if NATO chooses to abandon tanks altogether in favor of more advanced combat technologies. Zaluzhny estimates it would take NATO around 5 years to make that transition, during which time Russian tactics and technologies would continue to evolve. One of the most striking aspects of the war in Ukraine is Russia's rapid ramp-up in weapons and ammunition production. Unlike Western countries, which remain tied to slow, profit-driven procurement systems, Russia has shifted to a full-scale war economy. As a result, Russia's production of ammunition, tanks, and combat vehicles now surpasses the combined output of NATO countries. Russia is currently capable of producing around 3 million artillery shells per year, while the West only aims to reach 2 million by the end of 2025. In addition, Russia has doubled its tank production and multiplied its artillery and rocket manufacturing since the war began. This production advantage is not just about quantity, but also efficiency and adaptability. Russia operates its factories around the clock, while the West continues to struggle with lengthy and expensive procurement processes. The cost of producing ammunition in Russia is also significantly lower than in NATO countries, allowing Russia to consistently supply its frontline troops without major obstacles. This transformation stands out as one of the key lessons from the war in Ukraine. Let's wait and see who falters first under the strain. That's all for today, and thanks for watching.